Alright guys, one more time, last one of Unit 3, Video 13, Fiscal Policy and the Multiplier. Alright, the multiplier effect. Remember our old friend from the beginning of the unit? So because of the multiplier effect, a change in government spending or taxes will have a larger effect on GDP than the dollar amount of the change in spending or taxes. Alright, so what that is really saying in so many words is that if the government were to spend $1 million to try to stimulate the economy, that it will have a larger impact on GDP than that $1 million, and that's because of the multiplier. So if the multiplier is 5, we would do that 5 times 1 million, and it would have a total impact of $5 million. Pretty basic stuff. So because of the multiplier effect, that change will have a larger impact on GDP than just that dollar amount alone. Alright, now we have two multipliers, so we're going to kind of break it up now. We have our spending multiplier, the expenditures multiplier. This is what you guys are familiar with. This is what we did before. We just called it just the multiplier initially, and it is often referred to as the multiplier. Now we're going to be a little bit more specific and call it the expenditures multiplier, and it is 1 over MPS. Now we also have a tax multiplier, and this is going to be a little bit different, MPC over MPS. Okay, so what this is going to mean for us is that if the government were to cut taxes by $1 million, or the government were to increase spending by $1 million, so those are both expansionary fiscal policies, they would not have the exact same impact on GDP because the multipliers are different. Alright, so we come back. Okay, so let's pretend that our MPC is 0.8, and if you need to write it down, that's fine. If our MPC is 0.8, what's our expenditures multiplier? Well, it's 1 over MPS, so 1 over 1/5. Multiplier equals 5. Very good. What's the tax multiplier, though? So if MPC is 0.8, same MPC, 0.8, but now we do MPC over MPS. So instead of being 1 over 0.2, it is now 0.8 over 0.2. And that only equals 4. Okay? So what this means is that while the expenditures multiplier is equal to 5, the tax multiplier is only equal to 4. So if we were to have an equal change in taxes and an equal change in government spending, tax cut by $1 million or government spending increased by $1 million. With an MPC of 0.8, government spending would increase GDP by $5 million. 5 would be our multiplier, 5 times 1 million, $5 million. The tax cut, same tax cut, $1 million, but our multiplier is only 4 for the tax multiplier, so it will only increase GDP by $4 million. So again, to reiterate this, changes in government spending have a larger effect on GDP than an equal change in taxes because the expenditures multiplier is larger than the tax multiplier. The AP test loves to ask that. I believe that that's on every single past exam that I have. I'm almost positive of that, in fact. So, and it'll definitely be all over your test. Automatic stabilizers. All right, so now we're talking about things that kick in automatically, tax and spending policies that make fiscal policy automatically expansionary when the economy contracts and automatically contractionary when the economy expands. I swear this isn't supposed to be a riddle, okay? No action by policymakers. So this means the president and Congress, they do nothing, okay? They don't do anything. But as a result of what we've already set up, things like unemployment benefits, things like Medicaid, we're going to have automatically expansionary policy during a contraction and vice versa. Okay, so here's how those go. So a little bit more specifically for you. I don't really care about the tax revenue one so much. That's not as important, but the idea here is that if we are experiencing an expansion, or also known as an inflationary gap, output is going to increase, means we are producing more. It means we are buying more because total value of all final goods and services produced in an economy in a given year, right? So output is increased. As a result, there's going to be an increase in tax revenue. And that word revenue is really important. It means the government will be receiving more money in taxes. It doesn't mean that they raised the rate of taxes, but they will receive more money in taxes, and that is contractionary. As well as the fact that, and this is the more important one, is the second one, by far more important. When we have an expansion, output increases, and as we know, we've talked about it a lot, unemployment is going to decrease. Now, because of that decrease in unemployment, government transfers are also going to decrease. The government doesn't do anything. They don't change the unemployment benefits. They don't change Medicaid. They don't change food stamps. They don't change welfare. It's just that since more people have jobs, less people are going to get unemployment benefits. That one's the easy, obvious one. But there's also going to be less poor people. So less people will qualify for Medicaid, less people for food stamps, less people for welfare. Okay? They also work in the other direction. When we have a recessionary gap, we have a decrease in output. Less things being produced, so there will be a decrease in tax revenue as a result of that, and that is an expansionary automatic stabilizer. Again, much more important than that are the second ones. Recessionary gap leads to lower output, which leads to higher unemployment, and now because there is higher unemployment, more people need unemployment benefits. More people are going to receive Medicaid. More people are going to get welfare. More people are going to receive food stamps. And this is exactly what happened in 2000, from 2008 to 2011, is that we had a huge increase in the number of people receiving unemployment benefits, huge increase in the amount of people receiving Medicaid, food stamps, welfare. And a lot of people, obviously this gets political, and I'm not getting political here, but a lot of people blamed the president. Like, oh, look, since he's become president, we have so many more people on food stamps. We have so many more people on Medicaid. And that was absolutely true, but it wasn't anything that Congress or the president did. It was just a natural automatic stabilizer that because unemployment was high, more people qualified for those programs. Now you see in this picture another impact of that, and that's going to be that because of this, the government is receiving less money in tax revenue, and they are now spending more on government transfers. We are definitely going to be adding to our federal deficit. That is going to be a major impact of automatic stabilizers when we are in a recession. And you can see that happen, like the deficit explodes as a result of these automatic stabilizers. Discretionary fiscal policy. All right, so we had automatic stabilizers, so that's Congress and the president doing nothing. On the other hand, discretionary, like that word implies, they have a choice, they do something. So this is the result of deliberate actions by policymakers. So this would be changing the tax rates, changing government spending, and they can make changes to the transfer programs. So this wouldn't be the automatic ones. This is saying that they're going to increase the amount somebody gets for unemployment or decrease the amount you get on welfare. Those would be discretionary policies. The fact that more or less people qualify, that's automatic. But if they make a change to the program, that's discretionary. This has been a Money production. I really miss that guy. He was great.